Quantum Leap, watching all this stuff, it's fantastic. It's a really good show. There is a guy on the team. You may know him from the Sandman series that was on Netflix. I thought I
recognized him.
Right? So he's the blonde person, because they're not identifying it as anything, or maybe they are and I just don't know. I'm just going to call him the blonde person for now. The actor's name is Mason Alexander Park. You know him as one of Sandman's siblings in... it's not in Hell. I forgot what dimension it is, but it's Desire, if you watch Sandman. So he plays Desire on there, and he's on Quantum Leap here. He's a research assistant. He's the one that programs Ziggy, the master computer, for them to figure out all the shit that's going on in history. So you can just tell his presence in there, the way he acts, whatever. It's like, oh, if he's not calling himself gay, he's in that umbrella. He's not identifying what it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter to any of the storyline.
Right.
But then they put in a scene that really wasn't necessary. It didn't, like, the connection it's making to the point of what is happening at the moment doesn't really connect, and it's just like they forced it in there to show, like, no, look, we're on board with all of this, and I found it really aggravating. And it's network television that's doing this, because network TV needs to figure out, look, there's other shows that are way past inclusion on a lot of their products and properties and things like that. Like, they've done it to a far better extent than broadcast television is doing. But this is broadcast TV's in the United States attempt to start to work that in.
Right. And
it's like you picked the wrong spot to put this in there. The connection doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm going to show you a clip that I pulled, and we will discuss after. So I left the closed caption on in case you're not understanding what they're saying. You can read along with it. But, take a look at this here.
Ooh, I'm a true crime addict, so what are we looking for?
Evidence she was framed.
Oh, wow, you just made my day.
Wait, you really think that's possible?
Yeah. Look, when I was 8 years old, I realized that about half of the world just blindly accepted as truth the construct of gender that is both artificial and profoundly limiting. So, yeah, I am pretty suspicious of basically anything that people say is a fact.
Just blindly accepted this artificial construct of gender. It's like, that's not what this is. That's not what that thing that they're identifying or fighting for or whatever. That's not how it works. That's not what it was. It made no sense to bring that up in that moment of them. It's like, oh, you believe that she's innocent in a case that she was found guilty for in the past, the character they're referring to.
Right.
Oh, yes, because when I was growing up, people would just naturally believe in this artificial construct of gender and this and that and that. So now I'm just suspicious of everybody. It's like, that doesn't fit here. That is really ham-handed to squeeze into this particular thing. It's not like they were discussing his life, or he decided to share with somebody a personal moment where that would come into context. This was just like, oh, we're supposed to include this somewhere in here. Paste it into this portion of the script. Just do it there, so then we can say that it's included. That we put that on there.
A conversation you and I were having about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, when the third episode of The Last of Us came out. And that episode is literally a love story between two men.
Right.
And you were asking me, look, was this in the game? I never played it. Or is this just a story that they wanted to inject this just to get, the likes or whatever,
right.
What I mean? And I said, no, the character was gay.
I asked if it was pandering.
And you asked, is it pandering or shoehorning it in to just appeal to the broader audience trying to get into things? Right. And I was like, no, it's not exactly what it is. That episode's beautiful. It's great. The fact that they're gay, honestly, who cares? It's one of the best television episodes that I can remember in a very long time.
Right.
That, what you just played, sounded like they're pandering. They're trying to shoehorn in things that don't need to be a part of the story. Like, it has nothing to do with what they're doing.
I will also say this, because I asked you because I didn't know the source material for the game, now being the television show. So I wanted to know where it was coming from. Were they amplifying a small part of the story? Because then that's fine. That was originally part of the thing. It was pretty much, I guess what was explained to me was this was a plot device to help, one, give them a better ending, but help accelerate other characters' relationships as they're getting towards the end of season 1. So it kind of made sense. That story that they did in episode 3 of Last of Us, you could look at that story and go, that could have been a husband and wife couple, an elderly couple that went out the way they did. It was the same exact storyline. So it wasn't like over the top. It wasn't far-fetched. It wasn't like this doesn't even seem probable that you're forcing this in there. The story was great. I did enjoy the story. I just didn't know the source material. We talked about it and I was like, okay. See, and everyone else seemed to like that. If more people watched Quantum Leap, which apparently they did because they got greenlit for a second season, but I don't know if people on TV are watching this or if they're watching it on the streaming. I don't know. But watching this, I go, there was no point to this. Like if that was a moment, say it was like he's talking about there and he goes, you know, when I was younger, like say he took that specific moment to come out as being gay, right? Right. You're doing the character injustice. Like, why would he say it there? That had nothing to do with what they were talking about. And that was my point with this. When I was growing up,
my dog died of parvo, so I've been distrustful of everything since.
So I think we're going to figure out that she was framed for murder. It's like, that doesn't belong there. It's like, you know what it was? It was like, it was 2 pieces of paper that happened to be stuck together and they photocopied it. And that turned, you know what it is? It's the fucking cookbook from Friends. When Jennifer Aniston's trying to make the fucking dessert and there's layer of chopped meat and peas and onions with the lady fingers and the strawberry because the pages were all fucked up. Yeah. That's what that script was for Quantum Leap. Yeah, Joey liked it, but nobody else did. I'm sure there's Joeys out there that was like, you know what? That was a great fucking scene. Everyone else is having a problem with this thing. It made no sense to put that in there. And I think you're making a bad case for a national audience to not really take their plight seriously. Because you look at that and you go, that was the wrong place and the wrong time to interject that. Right. It made no fucking sense. If people are going to get upset, because a lot of people are very short-tempered or very short-minded when it comes to this stuff, you just gave them something to be upset about. And the way that you put that in there, it makes it seem like it's fucking flat earth theory. Like you put it out there and you go, here's flat earth theory. Well, why are you telling me this? Because there it's flat. But I didn't ask you. We weren't having this discussion. Yeah, but you should know about this. Now I don't believe you. Even if you might be right, maybe you're not. It didn't come up in a way where we would have a discussion and lead to conclusions.
It wasn't organic. Like it just like they pumped the brakes on story, injected this little portion, and then expected you to just keep going with the story as if it was such a profound thing to apply.
Right.
This nothing to do with it.
Artificial construct of gender back in the day, which is so offensive, that is bullshit. That is new stuff that the people just came up with and they're trying to go with, and whatever, fine. God bless you if you feel better doing that or if people are going to go along with it. But then using that to say, because, you know, I can't believe that 80% of the world, it's more like 98% of the world, maybe 99% of the world believed in 2 genders. Right? We're not there now. People who have their own thoughts on that's fine. But when you start saying, you know, most of the world didn't believe this, that's not the case. You're trying to get it to that point. I understand. There's progress to be made. But that wasn't where it came from. That wasn't where it started. And you're throwing this shit out there. And it's like, network TV, are you like, they're desperate to get anybody to watch. They're trying to get every demographic to like anything that they do, which is why what is it, not TBS, is it TLC or something that leans so hard into RuPaul's Drag Race and stuff, because that show does gangbusters for them, but they figured out a way to attract a portion of the audience, a demographic that they were seeking. They found a way to do it and do it successfully. This is not the way to try to go after non-binary and all that other shit to try to include. It's like, oh, they're going to come in and start watching The Voice and The Masked Singer, and this will be the lead-in to the 10 p.m. hour when Quantum Leap's coming on. This is not how you're attracting the audience for this thing. If anything, if I was one of those people, I'd be pissed at this too, because it makes it look stupid.
It doesn't serve the character right. Like, it just, like you said, it feels just like it was tacked on just to throw it out there. Work it into the story organically that makes sense. Don't just stop what you're doing, throw that out, and expect us to be like, oh, that makes sense.
Rob's right. They're making clips for social media, not scenes for the storyline. They took a little chunks, like we put on there, look how woke NBC's being, right? Or
I'm sure that's
progressive
part
or whatever.
of TikTok somewhere.
But you're watching the storyline and go, there was no need for this. Like if you're running in a gunfight, you're hiding in a warehouse somewhere, trying not to get shot, and then somebody breaks down, you know, some preposterous nonsense. And then you go, wait, why are you telling me this now? Because it's important that I tell you right now. All right, does it apply to the rest of the story? No, it's just in the moment. I need to tell you this. What?
Imagine you watching Transformers. They're fighting the Decepticons. All of a sudden, Bumblebee looks over. I'm gay. And then they just keep fighting the Transformers.
Well, they did
like
that.
Decepticons.
They did that in the Saturday Night Live parody of with Pedro Pascal in the Mario movie.
Oh my God!
Where Toad goes, by the way, I'm bisexual.
I'm bisexual.
And Mario's just like, okay. And then they're doing something else. And then there's Yoshi, and he goes, by the way, I'm bisexual. They're like, okay, like it didn't matter.
That's got to be the show title. Just by the way, I'm bisexual.
Yeah, B.I. the way. Yeah, it makes no fucking sense.
That's
and
exactly
yes,
what that
Restless,
was,
I'm with you too.
Do
I don't even like straight romance stories.
Girls are gross.
No.
I don't want to see it. I don't need to see kissing.
Isolate that. Yes.
Girls are gross.